G'day to all the lads out there. Fellas, today a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. First of all was something that came up, I believe on YouTube in regards to Robert De Niro getting into huge debt with his wife or ex-wife, whatever. I'm not quite sure what the situation there is. But I did read that she was she got a hold of his credit cards and maxed them out, and he's in a whole heap of debt and a whole heap of trouble. So you know, this is a man who was, as we all know, very famous actor. He's a very credible actor. He's done heaps of movies and was quite well off, as far as I know. Anyway, he was very rich, had restaurants, made millions out of movies, and now he finds himself in the toilet. And why? Why, as far as I'm concerned anyway, he gave all his power to his missus. He probably never said no. He never put her in a place when he should have, and just wasn't aware of the dynamics of how relationships work. That's what I think anyway. I mean, I can't understand a man at that age with all his experience, you know, all the movies that he's done, the money, you know, that he's traveled, he's met so many people. I just can't believe that someone could actually be in this situation. So to me, I guess it just makes sense that he just doesn't understand how women think. You know, obviously when he first started this relationship, he didn't put down his foot, he didn't set the boundaries, he didn't try and explain how things are going to work and what he wants. I just don't think that that's happened for someone like him. He's an intelligent guy, to be in this kind of situation. And there's many more. There's, you know, look at the divorce rate. So there's definitely, you know, something there, and it goes back to stuff that I've talked about before, about standing your ground, especially early in the relationship, setting up your boundaries, knowing what you want, and not putting up with bullshit and you know, shit tests and crap. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about today. It's a very interesting article anyway. If you get your hands on it, have a read. It's you know, it's quite sad, really. I mean, you know, he seems like a nice bloke, she seems like a nice woman, and it's just a shame that it came to that. She's running around with his credit cards, maxing them out. So yeah, anyway, the other thing is, the second thing that I wanted to talk about today is the situation that we're in with this this global pandemic. And you know how, I know here in Australia we've got people in lockdown. New Zealand's the same, for very small numbers, while in other parts of the world like Denmark and Sweden, you know, people are standing up and saying, no, this is not working, we're going to change this. But I find that here in Australia we've turned into a police state, and it's just frightening and just, you know, shocking that Australia, you know, a free country, a free democratic country, has come to a situation now that you know, people are getting belted on the street by police, run over, kicked in the head, and just treated like criminals. So and one of the reasons I think this is happening is because we've let this happen, and it goes again back to us being men. I think as men, we're not standing up, and we need to stand up and lead. And this is one of the reasons I believe that the system, or whatever you want to call it, has been sort of carrying out this emasculation of men over the years, because they don't want men to stand up. They know that we have to do that job, that we have to rebel against this type of tyranny. And they didn't want that. They don't want that. But this is an example of where we as men need to speak out, we need to stand up, and we need to say no. This is not on, mate. This is not on in a free country, in a free democratic country, to be treated like criminals. It's just appalling. If you don't believe me, you can Google or YouTube, whatever, all the information and, you know, the scenarios here, what's happening on the streets, or last week in Melbourne and in Sydney, police harassment, old women, pregnant women, kids getting pepper sprayed. It's just out of control. And I have heard from some people that, you know, they're using Australia like as a testing ground, and then they're going to follow in other countries, like America and Canada and other places with this sort of treatment. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm trying to do as much as I can. Obviously here where we are in Tasmania, we don't have any lockdowns, thank God, and we don't have any COVID, but I guess eventually it's only a matter of time. But we just have to be prepared and know our rights, and not get bullied, and make sure that we stand up to these thugs. If it comes to that, if it comes to push and shove, and somebody's giving you a hard time, police or whoever, you have to know your rights. You have to know what you're talking about, and you have to defend yourself and your family. It's just outrageous, but that's what it's come to. So just letting people, you know, it's a hard time, and I know that a lot of people might be going through other shit, and then they've got to get compounded by this as well. So it's just, if you can just download, I know here in Australia we've got a site called Know Your Rights Group, and they've been banned on YouTube because I guess they're too informative, but you can definitely go into their email address, etc., and find out more about them. They also do a show on Rat FM every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock for 2 hours, and they can give you a lot of information in regards to where you stand, what to do and what not to do when it comes to police intimidation, and knowing your rights and defending your rights. So what I'm trying to get at is, this is something that we need to do as men. Step up and get out of our comfort zone. And this is what our forefathers did when they fought in wars, when they stood up for freedom, and when they stood up for our rights. And we can't let them down. We can't let this happen. This is just, as I said before, outrageous. So we need to stand up and learn about your rights. Do the work, do your homework or your research, and find out where you stand. And that is the only way to sort of to deal with this. That's all I wanted to say today. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, or, you know, everything. It just be aware, be strong, be positive, and do your research, do the work. And once you do the work, you'll be sitting in a better position. You'll know how to look after yourself. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to say. Stay positive, stay fit, and I'll talk again soon. Cheers.